Hello friends, it is officially September and I needed a change, so I cut my hair. What do you think? It's not the first time I have it this short, but it's definitely the first time since I started my YouTube channel. So I always feel like September is the time for me to change things up. Last year I cut my bangs, grew it out of the summer because bangs in summer, for me at least, is unbearable. And now I felt like I wanted to give my hair a restart, and I cut off everything that didn't serve me anymore, chopped off the dead weight. And here we are. Today we're gonna venture into a design vlog. I am on the brink of working on a new sewing pattern, and this is not actually the third one that I'm working on, because the third one that I've been working on is over here. Sneak peek. I actually did that off camera and I'm currently in the testing phase, so you will see that pattern on my Etsy shop very soon. Today we're gonna start working on something a little bit different, and it is going to be a wrap dress. In a fabric haul video quite recently, I actually teasered that I want to be working on the ultimate French girl chic dress that is going to be inspired by brands such as Cézanne, Realization Par, which is actually Australian, Rouge, and also Reformation, of course, which is American, because all of these dresses are favored by French ladies and women of all shapes and sizes, and there's a good reason for it, because these dresses are so flattering, so feminine, impeccably tailored, and I want to take inspiration from those designs and the principles and distill them into a sewing pattern. I already have a pretty good idea of what I want to make, so let me draw it out for you. Alright, I got my cup of tea, I have my Cézanne leaflet, I have my iPad and my stylos. Let's get to designing. Actually last weekend I had a bit of a self-care weekend. I actually wanted to vlog it for you guys, but I don't know, I needed it to myself. So I basically went cut my hair, did that in Notting Hill, really nice hair salon called Blue Tit on Portobello Road. And then my boyfriend picked me up and we went to Westbourne Grove, which is a very fancy schmancy area here in West London. And I went to the Cézanne shop and I splurged on this absolutely beautiful California rose pink sweater cardigan. Isn't it the cutest thing? I won't be able to wear it though this week because it's beginning of September and it is threatening 30 degrees today. Can you believe it? Which is why I'm wearing my little cotton nightie that I made. Splurged on that. I did it for research. I went to the Cézanne store for research, of course, because I knew I was gonna make this video. They have the most beautiful wall full of knitwear, which is something that I like to splurge on because I can't knit as off at the moment. I'm not a knitter. I like to splurge on good knitwear, and they have this wall full of rainbow colored knits, which are just so beautiful, and they come at a decent price, I would say, for the quality that you get. And I also got this leaflet here with their September campaign. So there's not loads of dresses in the fall autumn campaign, evidently, because you know it's the colder season, but it's still nice to have a look at the aesthetic. And also I'm obsessed with the Mary Janes, these ones, so good, love the color. Might get those as well sometime soon. But back to the task at hand, which is designing this wrap dress. Subscribers who've been around for a while will remember that I, about 2 years ago, made a wrap dress that I copied from a vintage dress that was handed down to me by my mom. It has this beautiful lapel that goes all around the neck and it folds over, and it has this beautiful vintage feel to it. So that is an idea. Let me draw that out for you. I also should have the pattern of this still somewhere floating around in my portfolio map. That wrap dress just goes from the shoulder down to the waist, and then, like I said, it has this gorgeous folded lapel lapel that I really like. It almost has something robe-like, like a morning robe, and it has simple shoulders, and I think if I recall correctly, it does have princess seams, which is a bit unusual, but not a bad idea. And then what I would be doing is add simple sleeves, or relatively simple sleeves, to the design. This is also what the dress came with. I exchanged those simple sleeves for puff sleeves because I'm obsessed with puff sleeves, as you might know. But I'm somehow intrigued. I want to give it simple straight sleeves, maybe with a little bit of a raise up here. Generally speaking, keep it simple. It has a high-waisted silhouette, so it's in the true waist. You would wrap it together with a tie, and the skirt I would keep simple, probably. I'm thinking either to keep it a simple A-line skirt that is obviously wrapped up, or give it a bit of a tulip shape. Not sure about that because it would require a seam in the skirt, which can be a bit of a faff, to be honest. And then we would have pockets on the sides around here, but you wouldn't be able to tell because they're hidden in the side seams. So that's the first idea, which honestly I think is pretty final. I might go ahead and offer 2 options for the sleeves, maybe one puffy one and one simple one. But overall, this is it. And I actually already really like it. It looks very French to me. It has this like apron character, which honestly, a lot of the dresses have that characteristic. It says something like post-war 1947 to me, which I really like. But pair this with a good pair of sneakers and the baseball cap and you're in the 21st century. Boom. And that's kind of also how a lot of people like to wear this. Maybe Chucks or, you know, Adidas sneakers, something like that. I like that idea. Yeah, I'm not mad at it. Let's do a version 2 because this is a design blog and, you know, this is what we do here. Right, version 2. I think the first thing that I would get rid of in this version 2 is the princess seam, because I like simplifying things. I also like French angled curved darts, which give the most beautiful shape to the bust area. So let's say we have a wrap, of course, because that's what we make. It's a wrap dress, and we keep it real simple. No princess seam this time, but an angled dart here. Maybe also no lapel. Instead, it's an extremely simple bodice, no frills, and we're gonna add buttons here. This is something that Rouge really likes to do, and it looks especially nice when you have a dark dress with white buttons. Makes it very maritime and like summery. I quite like that. Again, high-waisted, and again, skirt is extra simple. Just a straight A-line skirt, midi length of course, because that's what we do around here. And probably wouldn't have a tie because we have the buttons. Or are the buttons just decorative and don't actually have a function? No, I think they would have a function. And then for the sleeves, again, something very simple, maybe a little bit shorter than the other one. And that's that. Right, so this one's more simple, a bit more modern maybe, but also more boring. So what does that mean for us? It could mean that we try to combine the two. So we have the wrap. I sort of want to keep the label because it's such a cute detail and it's something that is harder to construct, which I always feel like gives the pattern more worth to a potential buyer, because if it's just a wrap dress, people could potentially relatively easily, you know, draft it themselves. I have a tutorial on my channel for how to do that, and I want to add an element of difficulty that isn't so easy to do at home, just because you want to actually provide some value, if you know what I mean. So let's say we stick with the label. Let's say we get rid of the princess seam and instead we have our angled French darts, because we love those. Let's say we get rid of the tie but add buttons here. That could be cute. I like that. And then we keep the simple sleeves, make them a smidge shorter, and the skirt stays the simple A-line that we discussed. I like that. That is a good, that is, yeah. I think we found a winner. I would like to give this to you to vote in a poll, but This is my favorite. I think it has everything that a French girl dress needs. It has the silhouette, it has the length, it is easy to construct, however, yet it still has a certain element of interest to it, which is the label that the more simple version wouldn't have. And I like it. I guess that's the bottom line. So we have a winner! Yay! This is it, for sure. This is definitely it. Here we go. So that's the design phase done. Let's get to have a think about the pattern. Alright, so the way I usually go about this is I grab my bodice blocks. They look like this. And I have a video on how to create this basic version right here that some of you might have seen. And from this basic version, I modified these two versions here, which one has the dart removed in the shoulder and then migrated into the waist. And then this one is what I'm going for. This one has the angled French dart that is migrated into the bust area. So there's no waist and no shoulder darts. So I'm gonna use this and the basic back bodice to create my wrap bodice. I'm gonna start with the front. Right, so once I have the symmetrical piece, I just think about the style lines now. I'm actually inclined to keep the back like this. Right, so now I have a bit of a baseline here that I can work with, and from here I need to think about the lapel. Alright, so the first draft of the pattern is done. I need to take a good flat lay picture of it, so if this version, this mock of it works, I can then digitize it. So I'm gonna do that first, and then I'm gonna work on the first version of making this, and we'll see if it is a good fit. We're now at the point where we need to ask ourselves what fabric to work with for this mock-up. And I have this polyester cap, I think it is. It comes in this polka dot with a floral paisley on it. It's quite a lot, but I think that it could work for this style dress. Potentially, maybe, we'll see. I have plenty of this, I'm thinking. So I could definitely cut the bodice twice out of this plus one skirt. This is super breezy, a little bit see-through, so I might have to add some lining at least to the skirt because we don't want our undies to show. So let's try that. Alright, so I've assembled as far as I could before I now have to turn on the iron, which I'm really scared of. It's 27 degrees right now, but I can't help it. I have to press the seams. Hello there! It's been a few days, a week or so, since I last worked on this pattern. This is where I left this project about a week ago. We have a sort of assembled bodice, and I am feeling a bit indifferent about it, which is not good. I feel like there's a bit of tension happening here in the neck area, which really shouldn't. I'm gonna put this on and I'm gonna show you what it looks like right now. Okay, so when I put this on, we have this. So the shoulders are maybe a tad narrow, might be. And then the collar just overall isn't big enough. It kind of rolls when it shouldn't roll like that. So it's almost like not noticeable. It should be a really nice collar here. And it's not really that, is it? It just looks a bit wonky. It's a bit wonky. So there's two reasons why I think it looks like this. One is the fabric might not be the right choice. This is a little bit too flimsy. Not a big deal. I still have loads of it for a different project. So I think style-wise, the print of it would have looked cute with what we're going for. But the nature of the fabric, how it behaves, is not good. Love the dart. Very flat, very good, very nice. And the shoulders are a bit narrow, so I might want to add 1 or 2 centimeters here, because when we attach sleeves to this, it's gonna eat into the shoulder even more, because obviously, you know, seam allowance and stuff. So I think there's a few changes to the pattern I need to make, plus the fabric choice wasn't the right one. So I want to go ahead and see if I can find my original copy of my mom's wrap dress, which this design originates from, and see if there was something different with the collar construction that I kind of forgot about. And then I can have a think about the right type of fabric to use for this. It might even be that cotton would be a good choice, but I have to think on that a little bit longer. I'm not gonna lie, it does feel kind of good to be able to fill this with my own digitized patterns. That's all I'm gonna say. Feels good. I cleaned this out a little bit. Might not look like it to you, but this is quite organized now. And I found the original copy of my mom's wrap dress, which this whole pattern idea comes from. I basically traced a dress that my mom gave me from like the 90s with this lapel situation. And as you can see, there is a princess seam both in the front and in the back. And let's compare the front pieces to my new pieces. So this is my new piece. And I can tell from the get-go that the whole shoulder situation is quite different. The angle of everything is completely different. So what can we learn from this? What indeed? Okay, so after a couple of hours of pattern drafting, this is where we're at. So this is version 2 of the front. We have the front piece 1 plus front piece 2. We now have a princess seam, which I initially didn't want to do, but you know, we try things. And the front piece 1 has the folding crease right down here, but it has the label attached. We also have a label facing piece, which looks like this. And the idea is that once it folds along the intended crease, it goes a little something like this and around the neck. And then we have a nice label, is the idea. And then we have the back, which also has a princess seam now. And it looks like this. So we have back piece 1, back piece 2, and it's gonna go together like that. I have this white stretch Sorona linen, which I'm gonna use to make a mock-up now. So let's hope for the best. Oh my word, this fits so much better than the first version. I am quite happy with this. Look how nicely the collar behaves around the neck. That's exactly what we're looking for. I love the width of the collar of the label down here. I also love this little situation here, and there's going to be buttons down here to emphasize the closure of the wrap dress in this section. The princess seams work really well. They work even better when they're ironed, which they're not right now. And it's comfortable, there's some ease in it. What's not to love? The shoulders are the right length because this is obviously featuring the seam allowance right now. Once the sleeves are attached to this, this is going to be right where my shoulder bone ends, so that should be good. And yeah, the back looks really nice. Perfect actually. Armholes are a good size. I don't know. What do you say? That's version 2 of the pattern, and I'm quite chuffed about it. I'm now going to add the facing to complete this version of the mock-up, and then maybe I can have a think about what I want the sleeves to look like. I want simple sleeves, so shouldn't be too hard. Yay! Just one small adjustment, maybe taking away just a little bit here in the front armhole section. I marked it here, and that's about 1 inch that I want to take in, meaning I have 1 centimeter seam allowance in this mock-up. If I want to take 2 centimeters away, that is 1 centimeter on the pattern. Yeah. So removing that from the paper pattern. So I just took a lunch break after getting the bodice of the wrap dress to a point where I'm quite happy with it. I feel like I managed to improve the collar situation, and the overall fit of this is actually really good now. I do prefer the princess seam to the angled dart that I had before, because I also feel like it makes it easier slash more accessible for me to grade this pattern, and also for people to customize it once the pattern is shipped, and allow them to have more agency over the fitting process. So what I was thinking when I tried this on is that actually this area here is quite roomy. However, I don't mind that, if that makes sense, because this allows people to fit the dress and adjust it so that it suits their individual body form. If I was to go ahead and make this perfect to my individual body shape now, then that would take agency away from the customer in the future when they sew this dress and want to adjust it to their body shape. So I don't want to mess too much with the shape of the princess seam, because overall I think it's good. It's a little bit roomy, but I want to leave the fitting process to the end consumer, if that makes sense. I, of course, when I shoot the tutorial for this, will show step by step how to actually fit a garment like this and make it perfect for your own body type and shape. But that's my thinking on this right now anyway. So when I was on my lunch break, I did go out and had a look at a few fabrics out there, because of course I can't help myself. I always feel like I need to, you know, see what's out there. I didn't get anything for this dress because I had an idea about, once the wrap dress, the pattern is in a state where I feel like I can ship it, I always want to give people some ideas and a vision for the potential of the dress. So I want to make a plain version, and I want to make a version that comes in a fabric that has a print or a motif on it. So for the plain version, I actually already have something that I feel like could work quite well, which is this polyester fabric that looks like denim. I showed this to you a couple of weeks ago when I did my fabric haul. So this could be an option for sure. I also still have my terracotta tinsel twill, which I could use, but at the moment I'm gravitating more towards this. And I'm also thinking that for a plain version of the dress, it would be nice to give the collar a little bit of extra zhuzh, but I'm not going to talk about that right now because there's still things that I want you guys to look forward to. So it's a secret for now. For the patterned, printed, motifed version of the wrap dress, I also have loads of fabrics right now. I do have loads of florals. I have the pink and red floral that could work really well. I also have a vintage looking dotted / floral fabric that could work really well. So I do want to use something that I have because I think there's like loads of options. So what remains to be done on this wrap dress for me is to construct the sleeves, which should be pretty straightforward, and I wanted to do that today, and then move on to the skirt. I do want to do an A-line midi skirt with pockets, is the plan. Anyways, I do feel like I want to take a little bit of a break on this right now and continue working on another project that you have seen behind me, like literally in the background a lot, I feel like, in this video, which is actually my next sewing pattern that I'm planning to release before actually this wrap dress comes out. And at the moment, this dress, which here it is in all its beauty and glory, a few of you have already addressed in one of my last videos and were like, what is this? Why have we not seen this before? You know, why is there no video on it? It's coming, don't worry. So this dress, the pattern for it is currently in the testing phase and it's almost completed and it looks pretty good. It seems like I don't have to make too many adjustments, which is great. And like I said before, I do believe in giving people some ideas and the vision for, you know, the potential of a sewing pattern. So at the moment, this obviously looks like a summer / occasion dress. You wouldn't really wear this in winter, I feel like. A sewing pattern can have so many different identities depending on your fabric choice, the print choice. It could look cute and summery, it could look severe and wintry, it could look minimalist. So it really is up to you and the choices you make on how a dress eventually is going to come to fruition and how it's actually going to look to other people. I definitely want to make a winter version of this dress. So I did go out and got some tweed. I'm not going to show you exactly what it looks like because I do want to keep some surprises for the next couple of weeks, but this is what I'm going to be working on next. I also got a few more samples of tweeds because I feel like now that the winter season is coming, I might be more drawn to these types of fabrics, and I am obsessed with these two. This is like a lame type tweed. Not sure if tweed is the right word, but it's definitely woven like a tweed. And I don't know if it picks up on camera, but it does have a checker on it. So it's a dark blue and black, I would say, or like a dark blue and a darker blue checker pattern on here. And this is perfect for party season. Similar, this one, which just has the most beautiful warm silver color, which I really like. And I actually have a big birthday coming up in the next couple of months, and I have 2 parties planned for it. And this is definitely also on my to-do list, and I want to share the process with you of making my birthday dress / dresses. I don't know if it's going to be 1 or 2, and there's like loads of ideas floating around in my head right now, but it's definitely going to be a short, glittery party number. What exactly it's going to look like, we'll see. But I'm hoping to be able to share the process with you, but also make it a sewing pattern maybe. If it's a good one, if I love the design, I would love to share the dress with you and enable you to make it for yourself at home. So that's just me sharing a little bit where my thoughts are right now and what I think my next couple months are going to look like. So in terms of what you guys can expect, this is going to be the next sewing pattern, and the tutorial for it will drop very, very, very soon. And then you can continue to follow me on the journey of making this wrap dress happen, and then probably also me sharing some design ideas for my birthday dress. So I hope you're intrigued by this. And with this, I'm going to leave you guys today. Let me know what you think about the bodice of the wrap dress. Let me know if you agree on my approach to leaving some room for customization for the eventual customer, which hopefully will be you people, or if you would like me to continue and make it even more fitted, but therefore maybe making it less accessible for some body types, if you know what I'm trying to say. So just let me know what you think about this, and I see you next week. Bye.